Hey guys, it's Alexandra from EyeLoveKnots.com and yarncraftsandcoffee.com. Today we've made it to the second section of the Volume 1 Afghan. I call this series my Little Pebbles series. I love the cute little texture that you get with this stitch pattern. This is going to be a combination of single crochets and treble crochets, so we're going to go step by step through both of those stitches. Let's go ahead and get started. In the next section, we're going to be alternating between two different rows. One is going to be the textured row, which is going to be worked from the wrong side or the back side of the fabric, and that's the reason why we wanted to make sure we stopped on a right side here. And then the row after that is going to be a row of single crochet. For the textured row, you're going to work all of them the same way as this row right here. Start with a chain 1 and turn. We're going to be working single crochet followed by treble crochet and repeating that all the way across. So in this first stitch that the chain is connected to, we're going to do a single crochet. Insert your hook into the stitch as normal, picking up both loops there. Yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Treble crochet into the next stitch. Yarn over 2 times, so there are 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into that next stitch. Yarn over and pull through. There are now 4 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. Each time I do that, I'm going to take my left hand, my middle finger and my thumb, and I'm going to move them up on the fabric so that I can hold on to the different parts of the stitches. If I don't do this, I find that this stitch comes out too big and too loose. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops only, move my left hand up. We have 3 loops left on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, move my left hand up, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we go back to single crochet in the next stitch, and that single crochet is going to bring the stitch down to the same level and make it pop out on the other side. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. And there is that stitch popping out on the other side to create that texture. Treble crochet in the next stitch, yarn over 2 times. There are 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. There are now 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, move my fingers up, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, move my fingers up, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. If you find that you can keep your tension without moving your fingers up, then you don't have to do it. But I know for me personally, my stitch comes out too loose and just too big if I don't do it that way. Single crochet in the next stitch, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. Treble crochet in the next stitch, yarn over 2 times. Insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now we continue working this repeat all the way across the row. Single crochet in the next stitch, treble crochet in the next stitch. And now continue across and I'll meet you over at the end. There's my second to last stitch. In the last stitch, single crochet. And that's how we do the textured row. From the back side, it just looks flat. Your V shapes on the top have kind of shifted backwards, so you're seeing that along the top. But if you flip it over, you're going to see that textured row right there. That's the treble crochets that have popped out on the other side. So the next row is just a row of single crochet, and it's going to be from the right side or the front side of the fabric. Every time you're working from the back side, you're working a textured row so that it pops out on the front. And every time you work on the front side, you're just working single crochet. So for each single crochet row, we start with a chain 1 and we turn. And then we're going to single crochet into each stitch all the way across. So into the very first stitch that your chain is connected to, insert into this stitch, which is a single crochet, and complete a single crochet. The next stitch is a treble crochet. We're going to insert into the top of that stitch, and because the stitch has rotated backwards, because the stitch is so tall, you might need to pull your fabric forward so that you can see where you're inserting your hook. But it's the same hole. You have the bottom leg there and the top leg. You insert right into the hole in between those, picking up both loops from the V shape at the top. And then complete your single crochet. Single crochet into the next stitch, which is a single crochet. Then single crochet into the top of the next stitch, which is a treble crochet, and you might need to rotate your fabric forward. And that's it. Simple row of single crochet. Go ahead and work all the way across to the end. And that's the end of the single crochet row. Now we're just going to continue alternating these two rows for this section. To start the next row, which is a textured row, you chain 1 and turn, and you know that you're working a textured row because you're looking at the flat back side. Single crochet into the very first stitch, treble crochet into the next stitch, and continue in that pattern, single crochet into the next stitch, treble crochet into the next stitch. Once you make it to the end, there'll be a treble crochet in the second to last stitch, and in the last stitch it's a single crochet. For the next row, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work a row of single crochet, and we know that because we're looking at the front side, which is the textured side. Single crochet into that very first stitch, and each stitch all the way across, keeping in mind that you may need to rotate your fabric forward a little bit so that you can see where to insert your hook when you're working into the treble crochet stitches, because they tend to roll to the back. And you'll just single crochet all the way across the row. Then chain 1 and turn. You're on the back side. You know you're going to be working a textured row again. And just continue this repeat all the way up. You're going to have the same number of stitches in both of these rows that you had when you started. It's going to match the half double crochet section. You count your stitches the same way using the V shapes at the top. So right now I'm looking at the back side. This is the textured row that was just worked. You have a small stitch and then a longer stitch. A small stitch and a longer stitch. The longer ones are the treble crochets, the smaller ones are the single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can continue counting the same way all the way down to make sure you have the correct number of stitches. When you look at the single crochet row, the stitches are smaller, they're all consistent. You see the same V shape at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can continue along the top as well to make sure that you have the correct number of stitches. If you run out of yarn while you're working this section, if it's on the side where you're working the textured stitches, I recommend changing yarn in the single crochet stitch, not the treble crochet. So let me take this single crochet out. You're going to insert your hook into that stitch as normal, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on your hook. This is the last step you would yarn over and pull through to complete it. This is where you pause, set it down. You're going to want to make sure that you leave a tail end long enough here that you can comfortably weave in. Grab your new ball, form a loop, leaving a tail end long enough you can comfortably weave in. Put this loop on your hook. This is going to count as the last yarn over, and then pull that through those 2 loops to complete the single crochet. The original strand here has elongated, so I'm going to go back to it, give it a tug so it goes down to normal tension, and then I'm going to bring that tail end to the front side that I'm looking at, which is actually the back. The tail end from the new ball, which is the short end, I'm going to bring that to the same side. Grab the new working yarn here, go ahead and do my treble crochet for the next stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch, and now I can go back to those 2 strands. If my stitch is a little loose, I can go here and I can give a tug to either of these strands wherever I need to tighten up. But now the 2 ends are going to be here on the back side for weaving, which is where we want them to be. And this works if you're in the middle of the row, if you've just started the row, or if you're at the end of the row. If you're on the front side working the single crochets across and you run out of yarn, then in any stitch you do the same process. You're going to insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over it and pull through, 2 loops on your hook. Go ahead and set that down. Just make sure you've left a tail end long enough you can comfortably weave in. Grab your new ball, form a loop here near the end, leaving a tail end you can comfortably weave in. Put this loop on your crochet hook, that counts as the last yarn over. Pull through to complete your single crochet. Tighten down the original strand so that will go to normal tension. Drop it to the back. Grab the short tail end from the new ball. Drop that to the back as well. Grab your working yarn. Go ahead and continue single crocheting into your stitches there along the top. After you work a couple of them, then you can pull your hook out, go to the back, and if your strands or your stitch has gotten loose or too long, just give a tug to those strands wherever needed to tighten up. But again, we want those tail ends to be on the back side so that we can weave them in there later. To count your rows, we're not going to count from the very beginning. We're going to just count this section here. And to count the textured rows, the best way is going to be to look for the little pebbles that are there, because you're really not going to see that single crochet row that's in between. The little pebbles are in nice even rows horizontally, so you can easily pull out. That's row 1. Then the middle one here is row 3. And the one here at the top is row 5. And I would continue to count by 2s, working odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7. When you finish this section, you're going to finish on the back side, which is the flat side. You'll have just finished working a textured row all the way across. So if you decide to add or take away length here, you're just going to want to make sure that you do finish on the back side. If you're measuring as you go, you can lay your soft tape measure down at the bottom edge, measure all the way up to the top. You'll take the total length that you're looking for minus the border, divide that by 6, and then multiply that by 2, and that should be the height of your total piece right now. So if your gauge is a little bit different than mine, or if you're using a different weight yarn, then just use your soft tape measure to measure the length. Now I'm going to put up a chart that shows how many rows you're going to want to have depending on the size that you're working. And now our second section is complete and we can move on to the next section. Make sure to pop down into the description box below for the link to the next section and all the sections as they release in this crochet along. You'll find the link to the written pattern there and the link to subscribe to my newsletter. Newsletter subscribers get access to the free file library on my website where they can download PDFs of the patterns. I'll catch you guys next time.